Good morning, guys. Friday morning. After what was genuinely a dreadful... I don't know what to say. I mean, I kind of give you all a little bit of hope, give you a little bit of... to kind of, I don't know, just give you some faith in what's happening. But because at this moment in time, it does not look good. It does not look good. Morning, Janet. Morning, Graham. I mean, look, I think I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I said will not solve the problems. This is not the solution. This is part of the solution, certainly, but the issues at Rangers are way, way beyond what just changing a manager. Just changing a manager, like I said, may help in the short term. It may bring something to the club. I don't know, but thing that is going to help this club move forward. And I kind of commented. I've kind of given you on the poll that I've done this morning as to what it's not just the management situation. It is the whole structure of this football club. It is very badly wrong, really badly wrong. Kenneth Rutherford says it's that clown Kavanagh. Gio says morning. I think. Out. Shit. Let me just change this out. Hello, can you hear me now? Is that better? Hopefully that's a little bit better. Morning, I think it's time to send these loan players back. They're causing a lot of problems along with the key core of the shit that's been here too long. I agreed. I agree with you. I think there's far too much crap at this football club. And for me, there is one person and one person alone that carries the can for the situation this football club are in at this moment in time. And that is Kevin Thelwell. Kevin Thelwell has to carry a massive part of the blame for where we are as a football club at this moment in time. Now, we'll unpack the game a little bit shortly, and we'll talk about some of the players and the issues we've got around some of the players, certainly, and we'll get all your thoughts and opinions in on those players. But I'll be honest with you, Kevin Thelwell is the man who is primarily to blame for this issue. Now, we are running a poll this morning. 86% of you say yes, he should be sacked. 14% of you say no. If you're saying no... if you're saying no to him being sacked this morning, I'd love to understand why you're saying no. If you're backing Kevin Thelwell, please, unless you're obviously a Celtic fan, please tell me why you're backing Kevin Thelwell. I would love to know why you're backing Kevin Thelwell, because I'll be honest with you, there is literally no reason to do that. Kavanagh carries the can, he employs him. Yeah, at the end of the day, I agree with you. But Kevin Thelwell is the man signing the players. Kevin Thelwell is the man who has filled this squad full of absolute dross. I'll be honest. If I talk about Kevin Thelwell for a moment, Kevin Thelwell has come to this football club and he genuinely has come up here with an arrogance that he could piss Scottish football. I think there is, and he can talk all he wants about respecting Scottish football, about the fact that he doesn't underestimate Scottish football, etc., that he wants. But it's absolute bollocks. It is absolute bollocks. At the end of the day, he has come up here and he's thought, you know what, this is easy. This is the Scottish League. I'm going to Rangers. Rangers and Celtic dominate. I'll sign a few English players from the Championship because the Championship's a good league. They'll come up here, they'll piss it. I'll look like a brilliant sporting director, and then I'll get a job back down south again. That's what he's thought. There's an arrogance there. And the signings that he's made, is just terrible. And one of the things that is really annoying me this morning is I'm going, looking on social media this morning, and there are Rangers fans that are saying, once Danny Rule gets his own players, everything will be fine. This is all on Russell Martin. These are Russell Martin's players. There's a real lack of understanding within the fan base that Russell Martin somehow asked for Thelo Asgard, asked for Manny Fernandez, asked for Youssef Chimiti. These are not Russell Martin's players. These are Kevin Thelwell's players. You know, honestly, if you're sitting there this morning thinking that Russell Martin went to Kevin Thelwell and said, "Please, Kevin, can we sign Yusuf Chimiti?" You are absolutely having a giraffe. You are absolutely not living in the real world. You must be high, drunk, or something. These are Thelwell's players. We know that Thelwell has control over the signings. We know that Thelwell pulls the strings. We know that he decides which players come into the club. We know that because that's what Gerrard's people have told us. That's what Muscat's people have told us. That's the model. That's the model. That's how he structured it. So he has the control. Now, that squad last night had seven I think it was, I counted in the end, of Kevin Thelwell's signings in that team last night. There were 7 of Kevin Thelwell's signings in that team last night. And they were appalling. That is one of the worst Rangers teams I have seen in nearly 40 years supporting the club. That is probably the worst Rangers team I have ever seen. And I include the teams that played in the lower leagues on the journey back from 2012. Honestly, Ian Black would get into this team. Martin Waghorn would get into this team. They're better than what we've got. They are. I'd rather have Martin Waghorn up front than Yusuf Chimiti up front. I genuinely would. Honestly would. You know, the only player for me that is looking like a player is Jack Butland. Jack Butland is absolved from any blame on this at all. But, you know, you look at that team last night and it was Thelwell's team. And I don't know about you, but when that team came up at work, I was at work last night. I watched the game when I got home. I honestly thought he picked the team. He picked that team. Wasn't, for me, it wasn't Danny Rule's team. That was Kevin Thelwell's team. It honestly, to me, looked like he picked that team last night. I might be wrong. I'll hold my hands up and say if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But honestly, it felt like that was Kevin Thelwell's team last night, that he picked that team last night and told Danny Rule he had to play Yusuf Chimiti, he had to play this player, he had to play that player. That's how it honestly felt last night. Honestly. You know, and it's on him. It is solely on him. Not on anyone else. Gio says, morning Owen, I think it's time to send these loan players back. They're causing a lot of problems along with the key core of shit. Mate, there is, as he said, Andrew Kavanagh said, I think, you know, in that presser the other day, there are too many loan players at this football club. I agree. There are way too many loan players at this football club. You know, what is quite damning for us is you could actually field a whole back four of loan players. You know, Aarons is on loan. Cornelius is on loan. Giga's on loan. Magoma's on loan. How are you supposed to build a squad, build a team? And everyone will tell you, you go back to Graham Souness's time, Walter Smith's time. How do they build those great Rangers teams of the past from the back? You know, Graham Souness brought in Chris Woods, Gary Stevens, Terry Butcher to add to the likes of Dave McPherson, and so on and so forth, Ian Munro. Players like that. He added to that core. He brought in his own players and he built from the back. How can we build from the back when half of your players, well, actually even, you can include Suter to some degree, 3/4 of those players probably won't even be at Rangers next season. Suter's in the last year of his contract. There's no new contract at the moment on the table. Magoma's on loan, will head back down south. Giga is on loan, will head back down south. They're all going south. They will all go back. You know, it makes zero sense. What else we got? Janet says, Owen, being honest, this group are the most bunch of part-time trying to yeah, I agree with you on that one. Daniel says, the recruitment has ultimately let us down. The squad is the worst we've had in a long time. There are no leaders, short of cover in most positions. I agree wholeheartedly with that, Daniel. This squad is one of the worst squad. Look, I'm going to echo what Ali McCoy said on TalkSport this morning. You look at the squad last season, and look, the squad last season was not good because it didn't compete. It didn't win anything. And at Rangers, you're expected to win things. And some of that was down to Clemon, some of that was down to, you know, the players that were left over from Beale, etc., etc. But, look, you know me, I'm not a fan of Cyril Dessers. I'm not, you know, not a huge fan of his. I didn't rate him particularly, but the guy scored 50 goals in 2 seasons. Obviously, we didn't sign Václav Černý. 18 goals, 8 assists, 26 goal contributions last season from Václav Černý. Looked like one of our best players. Igaman, 16 goals, 5 assists, 21 goal contributions last season. So you've effectively got rid of 70, 80, nearly 90 goals worth of contribution, and you've not replaced them. You've replaced them with Chimiti, Miovski, and Ant-Man, possibly Gassama, possibly. None of them have contributed what those other players contributed last season. And Yusuf Chimiti, I will talk about Yusuf Chimiti in a bit. He is genuinely one of the worst footballers I've genuinely ever seen. He makes Cyril Dessers look like CR7. He really does. He makes Cyril Dessers look like Kylian Mbappe. He is genuinely that bad. But they haven't improved the quality. And I once heard a manager say, you only buy players if they improve on what you've got. They ain't improving what we've got. The players look worse, and we'll talk about the players in a moment. But I agree with Daniel. The recruitment is absolutely awful. Thelwell does what he wants. He agreed. Thelwell is pissing money down the drain. I agree. And what worries me, fantastic Mr. Fox, is he will possibly get money for January. And that worries the hell out of me. Daniel says the 49ers have underestimated Rangers. Plain and simple, they thought they could make a quick buck. Probably true. Harvey says get Davy Weir in. I agree with that comment. Kenneth Rutherford says Aarons, Magoma, Giga, Cornelius, Fernandez, Chimiti, all duds. Broad Black Brimmer says Rangers are a joke. The real Rangers, yeah, whatever. You are obviously a Tim. Please ban him, please. One of the moderators. Should have seen that with that horrible IRA name. Chimiti is 100% on Kevin Thelwell, says Alan Austin. I agree with you. Loads of comments here. Alan Abbott, 54 years following Rangers. I've never seen so many average players in our team discuss the lack of passion for that shit. I agree. One of the things that Ali said this morning on Talk Sport was he said that basically Rangers have been filled up with average foreign footballers who, don't actually contribute anything, to this team, who genuinely don't do anything for this team. And he was right. They don't. Tavi's our top scorer. Yeah, get rid of the loans. Don't give anyone new contract. Rip it all up and start again, says Aldo. Yeah, Neil Mathers says, you're right, Owen Warburton's first division side would rout us. We're going to have gone back 10 years in 3 months. Yeah, I agree. Thelwell has taken us back massively, hugely. Airwolf says, Chimiti, what does he say? I can't read the comment. Chimiti, 8 million. Wow, much rather take a 2 million punt on someone in the middle of nowhere. Agreed. £8 million for a player who scored one goal in 570 odd days. It is incredible. We want to rid of Tav, but he's no holding up the table. It's that simple. Tav's shit. I don't want to get into a Tav argument this morning. Scott Miller says Igaman scored twice last night. Yeah, Igaman has been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Igaman has done absolutely superb since he's gone to Lille. He is blowing it up over there. And they only paid €11.5 million for him, which is about £10 million. I mean, ridiculous. Christina Tagg says, my team for Sunday, Butland, Sterling. Sterling's not fit, unfortunately. Fernandez, Suter, Cornelius. Midfield, Barron, Raskin, Cameron, with Miovski, Curtis and Gassama up front. Decent team there, I like that. We got Shit Creek without a paddle, says fantastic Mr. Fox. Aldo wants an investigation. Look, mate, £8.5 million on Chimiti. Something stinks to high heaven about that. Absolutely. Alan Austin says, Thelwell cannot be allowed anywhere near January recruitment. Kavanagh has to identify a new sporting director. I agree. Thelwell has done a genuinely dreadful job of bringing in players. I mean, if you look at the amount of money we have absolutely wasted, and I think that's the key thing here, the amount of money we have absolutely wasted on players is incredible. We could have signed Seema, we could have signed Cheney, we could have, given Hamza an improved contract, kept him. There's a lot we could have done to improve this squad, and instead we have gone massively backwards, hugely backwards in the last 12 months, massively backwards. And Kevin Thelwell has played a huge role in taking this team backwards, taking this team to a situation where genuinely they look so much worse than last year. We don't look like we know how to pass the ball to each other. We don't look like we know how to defend. We don't look like we know what we're doing. We don't talk to each other. We don't communicate. There's just no team unity there at all. I mean, the spend was €26.7 million. It's about £25 million. Oh, sorry, no, 29, that's wrong. 29.7 million euros spent. So about 25 million pound, 26, 27 million pound on players. So, you look at who he brought in, right? DJ Disco Beaver says the players are going to lose support if they haven't already. Agreed. Surely Thelwell won't be anywhere near Rangers' January window. Surely not. Although he will be, I guarantee it. Yusuf Chimiti, £8.5 million. I mean, genuinely, I don't get that. I don't understand spending £8.5 million on a player who looks at best like a competition winner. He looks like a competition winner. His movement is awful. His positional play is awful. He can't control a ball. He can't hold a ball up. He just doesn't do anything. He just does not do anything. I mean, the comment the other day that really riled me, as a fan, was Kevin Thelwell made this comment. He said, if he was any good, he wouldn't be playing for Rangers. That was a genuine comment that he made. So you've basically wasted £8.5 million on a shit player because you've just admitted that he's shit. Because you said if he was any good, I mean, honestly, the lad is just absolute garbage. Unbelievable garbage. Ant-Man cost £4 million. Again, just looks lost. He looked great first game, but has lost all confidence. Looks genuinely dreadful. Oscar Cortez, I genuinely don't understand the Oscar Cortez situation. I don't get why we sign a winger, he gets fit, and then we never play him. And we send him out on loan. I genuinely don't get that. Thelo Asgard, to me, doesn't look able to play the system. He doesn't look able to have the energy to high press. He gets knocked off the ball way too easily. He's not physical enough. He's not aggressive enough. To play in Scotland, you've got to have that physicality, that aggression. Thelo Asgard has not got any of those qualities. Miovski is a mystery. I mean, Miovski's a player we've all kind of wanted for the last 2 years, but it's just done nothing since he's come in. Manny Fernandez, I genuinely forgot that we had him. He's been injured allegedly. Gassama, look, I'll give him Gassama. Gassama actually looks like a good footballer. Joe Rothwell, I don't get Joe Rothwell. I mean, Joe Rothwell is genuinely one of the worst players I've ever seen play for Rangers. He looks out of breath after 15 minutes. He looks like an old man. He can't pass the ball. He can't control the ball. He can't tackle. He just looks, again, like a competition winner. Genuinely awful. Genuinely poor. Lyle Cameron, I honestly like Lyle Cameron. I think Lyle Cameron is a good player. But again, that's not a Thelwell signing. Cameron was signed by Niels Koppen on a pre-contract in January. So you can't give him that. But Lyle Cameron isn't getting a look in. I know he's been out injured, but he's been back from injury for a few weeks now. And as I said on the video yesterday, Lyle Cameron, to me, looks more direct. He looks aggressive. He's forward thinking. He wants to get forward. He wants to attack. He wants to get on the ball. He wants to control the midfield. Why are we not using Lyle Cameron? I don't get it. And also, why are we not using him in Scotland? He understands the SPL. He understands the physicality of the SPL. He gets the league. So why not use him? Mikey Moore is a kid who hasn't got a clue. I mean, I really hope Tottenham recall him in January because he doesn't look like a player at all. Nasser Giga is a bomb scare. Max Aarons is a bomb scare. Derek Canedius is a bomb scare. Jayden Magoma. Look, I'm not going to criticise Jayden Magoma. He's a kid. He's a kid who realistically shouldn't be our first choice left back. At the end of the day, we should have signed a more experienced left back, and Magoma should be a backup. That's what Magoma should be. He should be a backup to whoever is the starting left back. But the issue we've got at the football club is that other than Jayden Magoma, there is no left back at this football club. So if Jayden Magoma doesn't play well or is out, then who do we play there? Sterling, when he comes back, he's a right back. So again, you've got a right footer on the left, like you had with Aarons at the start of the season, who is naturally going to tuck in, naturally take away the width, and naturally narrow the pitch. Now, if you naturally narrow the pitch against a low block, it makes it even hard to break that low block down. So to me, that's on Thelwell. How he's allowed this squad to get to the situation where the window shuts and we have one left back on the books and he's sold and loaned out 3 other left backs. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't get it. I mean, I know we couldn't turn the money down for Hjefte because the deal was unbelievable. But, Ridvan was a decent enough player. Should have kept him at the club, made him play, Or even Robbie Fraser, kept him at the club, made him play. Somebody, as an alternative to Magoma, if you're not going to sign anybody, should have been kept in place. You certainly shouldn't be selling all three or getting rid of all three of your left backs and leaving your only left back choice as a teenage kid who is still learning the game. The recruitment has been genuinely piss poor this season. Really has been poor. And it's let us down. Kevin Thelwell, who was confronted at the airport again last night by fans, looks so galactically out of his depth. It's incredible. He is galactically out of his depth. Let's get to some comments on from you guys. It's hard this morning. Sorry to keep with your comments. If I miss your comments, I apologise. RM says, total embarrassment. The only good thing is the whole defence is loan deals or out of contract at the end of the season. True, because Steve Tav's out of contract. We can restart that back four again next season because, I'll be honest with you, RM, the back four looks genuinely poor. It may even be worth looking at going at three at the back for the next couple of games to try and stem the bleeding a little bit at the back. Tav passed the ball back to Butland from the halfway line and went out for a corner. Look, James Tavernier was absolute garbage last night. He was absolutely dreadful last night. He looked like his legs had gone. His positional play was awful. He was missing from the right back slot time and time again. He doesn't look like he's got any positional discipline anymore. He looks like he thinks he can go where he wants all the time. And what annoyed me is he stands there post-match talking about, talking how he did. And I'm thinking, mate, you're the biggest loser in this team, so don't even start. Why did fan press not go after Thirlwell on disregarding? Yeah, I agree, Airwolf. I don't know why they didn't. If I was Rangers Review or Four Lads or Heart and Hand, I would have absolutely gone after Thirlwell and say, why did you not look at Mulligan? Why did you not look at Shanklin? Why did you not look at Penrice? Why did you not look at more Scottish players? What have you got against Scottish players? Really go for him. Go for him. I think they're weak at times. I really do. Miovski's awful. I'd play Danilo on Sunday. Can't do any worse. Kenneth Rutherford. I agree. Surely Thelwell, like I said to you, I think he will be. What else have we got? RM says Iggerman was leaving as soon as Clement got fired and a new contract would not have kept him. Fair enough. Iggerman is a player. Absolute player. Guess what? We've not played best teams yet. Lost 3 already, and last night they're missing 2 starters and their goal scorer. Yeah, I mean, Aldo, the point is that our Europa League so far, we have played probably 3 of the worst teams in the Europa League so far, in Genk, in Sturm Graz and in Brann, and we've lost all 3, and we've still got Roma to come, we've still got Porto to come. Realistically, I would write the Europa League off this season. Absolutely write it off. Play the kids in the Europa League. Do not even bother with it anymore because we're bottom of we're not going to come back from this. We're not going to qualify. And even if we manage to somehow fluke into the playoffs, we're still not going to get through that. So at the end of the day, I would just write it off. I absolutely would write it off this season because if we can't beat Brann, we can't beat Sturm Graz, and we can't beat Genk, there's literally no hope. Genuinely no hope. And there's an interesting stat, guys, from last night. Do you know that we haven't kept a clean sheet away from home in 24 games? That's virtually a whole season. That's awful. Iggerman is being called the new Ronaldo in France. Thelwell better have sell on clause. Iggerman will be a start next summer's World Cup. This is my argument. If we could have kept him happy and kept him for another season, we would have got probably double the money that we got for him. I'm not sure if Davy Weir is the right man, but I 100% agree with the sentiment. The next sporting director must be a man the Rangers fans know. Trust, because trust has broken down. Agreed. Celtic might not be great, but think they will beat us in the semi. At least they create chances. I think they will too, Aldo. When will they ever learn that an average player in the Championship won't automatically be a superstar? This is the point that I kind of made, I think, on the video yesterday or the other day. I was talking about this and I said that, Thelwell basically, like I just said a few moments ago, thought that he could come up to Scotland, buy some Championship players, piss the league, piss this, piss that. Look, it doesn't work. I mean, you go back over time and you look at the players we've signed from the English Championship, how many of them have actually ever worked out? Kieran Dowell, failure. Ben Davis, failure. Todd Cantwell, mixed. There's a whole situation there that is just genuinely perplexing. Why we do that when it doesn't work? Niels Coppen said that there is limited value in the English leagues. he's right. But Kevin Thelwell says there isn't. There is, Kevin, because the players you're getting from the English leagues aren't any good. They're not doing the job in Scotland. They look like a bunch of boys playing against men. So he's talking crap. Hope we don't lose all 8. I'm still traumatised by Champions League, yeah. Ant-Man was covering Tav first half, but the problem DJ Disco Beaver is whoever plays right wing spends the majority of their game covering Tav. Ant-Man is Michael O'Halloran Mark II, it looks like. Suter thinks he's superb. I've always thought Suter was overrated. Chimiti is also on a massive wage. 40 grand per week has been mentioned. I hope not, Alan. Talent, Tav taking everything last night. Yeah, my ball. The difference with Bran, when Ant-Man and Gassama got the ball and ran into their 4 players, when Bran had the ball, they ran into no one, as we didn't even defend one player. Yeah, I mean, look, one of the things that for me, RM, was when you watch the game, whenever a Bran player had the ball, he had 2-3 options to pass to. Whenever a Rangers player had the ball, he had nobody to pass to. He had no options. Nobody moved for him. There was just nothing. Scott Miller says Tav should have left after Seville. I agree. All the players look like they don't care. I agree. What else have we got? Airwolf. There's a value in England. Aribo, Bassi, O'Reilly. However, harder to get, and the price would be incredible for those. Amount of shots we have let every team. Yeah, exactly. We have far too many opportunities. Blaming Danny Roll, but how can a guy that talk we Rangers pull a coach? Not mentioned. This is all down to Thelwell. Nobody wants to work with him. No, but yeah, Thelwell is the issue. Go ahead, Eagles, sell us Ant-Man, and they beat Villa last night. Pure joke. Did they? I didn't see the result, mate. Kilmarnock is the last chance we have to win a league game at Ibrox before November. That is pretty crazy, Alan. Harvey Rose, how long do you think Danny Rule will last? Look, I mean, to talk, I don't even want to get into talking about the manager and this and that with the manager, because Danny Rule is the manager. I thought he spoke really, really well last night. I thought he spoke exceedingly well last night. And I too, like Aldo, feel sorry for Danny. He's going to need to have January, summer and next. He isn't going to get that though, Aldo. Please, can we get this into our heads? That Danny Rule is not going to have money to spend. It is not Danny Rule's job to sign players. He will not sign the players. Kevin Thelwell will sign the players. Please get this out of your head that once Danny Rule gets his players, everything will be okay. It ain't going to happen, guys. On the yes, 17% say no. So nobody has come on and told me. So nobody who has voted no has come on and told me why you're voting no. Who's supporting Kevin Thelwell out there? Are Celtic fans subscribing then unsubscribing to be able to vote in the poll? Why is it, guys? Let me know. If you voted no, please tell me. At least Roll had the balls to go and face the fans after the game and not skulk down the tunnel. Agreed. Roll will come good, just needs the right support. Look, Danny Rule spoke really, really well last night. Danny Rule, came out and he said basically that performance was not good enough. That performance was not acceptable last night. That some of the players let them down. He needs to now obviously get to command with the squad, to understand the squad, to kind of develop the squad, to develop his players, to get the best out of them. And he was really clear. There was none of this. There was none of the mentality word, the anxiety word, the training word, mumbo jumbo vegan crap that Russell Martin used to come out with. He was very honest about what he thought of the performance and how it needs to get better between now and the next game, and then the game after that and the game after that. So that was honesty, and I like that from Danny Rule. He was really honest. Now, Scott says, listen, I'm no blaming Danny Rule for last night. He's never a Rangers manager in the life of a guy. Look, I mean, we can discuss Danny Rule. We can discuss whether he's a Rangers manager or not. Do I think he was the right person for the job? No, I don't. Do I think that we should have got someone a lot stronger than Danny Rule as manager? Yes, I do. Do I honestly think we could have got someone stronger than Danny Rule? No, because of the situation at the club. The model at the club doesn't allow a Walter Smith, Graham Souness, Big Eck, Dick Advocat type manager, Stephen Gerrard type manager who is going to come in and be the figurehead, be the dominant force, be the driving force. Look, I go back to when I started watching Rangers back in 86, 87, back in the 1986. Graham Souness is appointed manager of Rangers. Graham Souness comes in as a player manager, takes complete control over everything. He revolutionises Rangers. He revolutionises Scottish football. He brings in his own players. He brings in his own philosophies. He brings in the way he wants to play. He drives the philosophy of the club. He drives the way the club goes. He is the club. Graham Souness, back in those days, was the club. He was the man. He revolutionised everything. It was him. He had control. Those days are gone now. Unfortunately, we will never get, on with this model, a manager who is going to come in and do that. If you go back even to other clubs, Manchester United, Sir Alex Ferguson went in there, revolutionised it, took over, was the force, decided everything at that football club, controlled everything at that football club. You go back to the great Liverpool teams of the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Shankly, Paisley, Fagan, Dalglish, they controlled everything at those football clubs. They were the figurehead. They signed the players. They renewed the contracts. They sold the players. They got rid of players. They told players they weren't good enough. That's no longer the situation. And unfortunately, at our football club now, Kevin Thelwell is the person who signs the players, who renews the contracts, who gets rid of players, not the manager or the head coach, who we have now. And that's just the way it is. And I as I said on the video the other day, Danny Rule is doing this job with one hand tied behind his back, which obviously is a huge push forward from Sheffield Wednesday, where he had two hands tied behind his back. Harvey Rowan says, give the manager the credit to talk to the fans. I do, 100%. Give him massive credit for that. Thelwell must have his family voting, yeah. We have a few strikers and not one is even half decent. It's depressing. Agreed. Assuming by Rule's words, he's not claiming. Yeah, fair enough. Hate to say it, I'd rather have Dessers back. Rule looked disgusted last night as he knows the players are not up to it. True. He's probably took one look at that last night, RM, and gone, what the hell is going on with this? The players are unfit. Martin was allowing players days off. Fair enough. How many goals would Dessers scored last night? Probably none. Surprised Fan managed to contain himself confronting those two clowns at the airport last night. True. Agreed on that one. I don't care. We got as a manager, it would take a miracle to get a tune out of those players. Mate, RM, I agree. You could put Jurgen Klopp in charge of that team. You could put Mikel Arteta, Arsene Wenger, Sir Alex Ferguson, Carlo Ancelotti, Xavi Alonso. None of them would get a tune from that team. Lauren Hardy's soundtrack should be played every time at Ibrox instead of Simply the Best. Yep. CJ Bucks fan says, are we headed for a period in Hearts' shadow as well? I mean, now we have been gutted out. Yeah, could well be. Hearts look a much better side than us. I've got no faith that these players can get us back up with Celtic or Hearts. Either of those teams. I think third place is the best we can do this season. If the right manager was brought in first time, Iggerman stays and we would have got a fortune for him. I agree. Let's get some German steel in the team. I like that. Aberdeen and Dundee United were playing in European finals when Souness came. Our league was also littered with top players. Times have changed. Yes, they were. But Souness did revolutionise Rangers. And the point I'm making here, Alan, is that he had so much control. He signed players. He sold players. He told players they weren't good enough. He renewed contracts. He was the man who drove everything. Danny Rule doesn't drive anything apart from his own car to work on a morning. That's the only thing he drives. Couldn't watch press conference way they two last week without, yeah, agreed. Have you seen the fourth kit? Not bad looking. Yeah, it looks nice. I won't be buying it. I won't be buying any merchandise from the club until Thelwell gets sacked. I'm not giving these owners any of my money until we get rid of Thelwell and Stewart. It's not happening. Not happening. I won't spend any more money on Rangers kit this season because of that. That and my missus will kill me anyway. But there we go. But look, I mean, touching on the players last night for a minute. I mean, look, Thelwell, we get Thelwell's is appalling. But let's set up a poll. Here's my poll. So my poll is: do you think Danny Rule can be a success at Rangers? So there's the poll, guys. Please get voting in the poll there. Can Danny Rule be a success at Rangers? Harvey, as I said, they can stick the fourth kit up their arses, no more money. Yeah, absolutely. Taking the piss, asking us to buy a fourth kit. I agree. Put the darts on. Couldn't even be bothered listening to any of them first time. Yeah, John McIver. Gerard and Muscat took a look under the bonnet and ran a mile. We need to be very worried. Yeah, I agree. Total boycott is the only option we've got left. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there should be a boycott. I think we should empty Ibrox. I think we should not buy any more merchandise until Thelwell and Stewart are gone. We need to put across to the owners that this is not acceptable. that these two are not acceptable at our football club. And I think the issue we've got is that they seem to have so much control over this football club, and they're going nowhere at this moment in time. And they've lost the trust of the fans. The fans have made their minds upon them. And as you know, as I know, once Rangers fans make their mind upon something, it's very difficult to change their minds. Thelwell has lost the fans. He's got to go. He's got to go. Airwolf says, Davy Watson going for free, no doubt will turn our noses up. Yep, Airwolf. Kevin Thelwell will not buy players from Scotland because he doesn't respect them. If Davy Watson was playing for Luton or for Bristol City or for Coventry City or for Leyton Orient, he'd look at him. But because he plays in our league for Kilmarnock, he will not be looked at. Iggerman was tapped up when Clement got fired. He was leaving regardless of who the manager was. Xmas round the corner. Our team is pure shite, and they bring out a new kit. Wow. Yeah, it's greedy. It's greed, pure and simple. Guys, just a reminder, can you also please support the channel by smashing the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't yet subscribed. Also, we have a goal running as well. If you want to donate to the channel, super chats and super stickers as well. Mark Williamson, if he's allowed to bring his own players, I think he might have a chance to take us forward. Well, Mark, he's not going to bring in his own players because as long as Kevin Thelwell is at the club, it's never going to happen. Kevin Thelwell has control. Things like common sense, signings, Cheney, Mulligan, etc., and we ignored them. Airwolf, I agree. Now, look, I ain't saying for a minute that Barry Ferguson should have been appointed the manager of the football club, but Barry, to me, had the right options for signings. He said he would have gone out and bought Josh Mulligan. He would have bought Lawrence Shankland in. They'd have made a huge difference last night and going forward. I mean, you look at that team last night. Where's the Scottish core to that team? Where's the heart? Where's the passion for Rangers in that team? There isn't them. And I don't know how many times I've said this on videos or on podcasts when I've talked to you guys. You know, I've said, you go back to Walter's time. When we were successful, we had a Scottish core to our team. Where's the Scottish core? Where's the Scottish core to this team? There is none. There is none. And we could have one. We could easily have one. Alan says, there'll be no quick fix now. If Roll fails to win at Ibrox on Sunday, his card will be marked before he even got started. Yeah, look, Danny Rule's in an impossible position with the players he's got. We should have got Josh Mulligan this summer, I agree. Rangers is our club. These two half-wits are employees and they will be gone sooner or later. Let's hope so. Barry would have lit a fire under the dross. Maybe, Andrew, maybe. I just don't think he's a very good manager. Until we get rid of Thelwell, we're in deep shit. Airwolf, Braga, 400k. Chimity, 8.5 million. Yeah, I know. Braga, obviously the heart centre forward who's flying. And Chimity, 8.5 million just looks really, really bad business. GD says, I fear Kilmarnock. Imagine that. Yeah, I mean, that would never happen under Walter or Graham or Big Ek or Advocat or even Gerrard. Kevin Thompson told us Josh Mulligan was at Murray Park to sign until Thelwell pulled the plug. Yeah, he was. Hackett at Walter type side. Yeah, look, I agree. We should be signing more Scottish players. I agree. We should be signing more Scottish players. You know, there is literally no reason not to be bringing in more Scottish talent. 100%. We are rank rotten, mate, says Scottish Ray. We are absolutely rank rotten at the moment. Absolutely rank rotten. Teams are chomping at the bit to play us at home. Yeah, look, we have fallen massively, massively far, you know, as a club. I mean, look, getting on to the Chimity business. I mean, look, Yusuf Chimity to me does not look a footballer. Genuinely doesn't look a footballer. He looks so bad, you know, and I don't understand how he's worth 8.5 million. I don't understand why we play him. I don't understand his use. I don't understand at all where we're going with him. Now, one thing I will say is we should be looking, I feel, at giving the Scottish kids more of a chance. Playing Barron, playing Curtis, playing Bailey Rice. Why are we not giving these kids a chance? Why are we not giving these an option? You know, as a Rangers fan, I'd far rather see some of our academy projects out there giving us 110% than some overpaid foreigner who doesn't give a shit, not even trying for my team. I really do feel that there is a real lack of heart and fight, and I think some of those young Scottish players would give us that. Look at the players Coppen could have got us with what we. But yeah, I agree. If Coppen had the money that Thelwell had, I think we'd have had a lot better players. I agree, especially if you go back to his PSV days. We need ex-Rangers players as scouts, not an inexperienced English schoolboy. Yeah, we have Scottish players, but they don't get a game. Barron, Cameron and Curtis. Agreed. No, we need the best scout out there. They're not cause they're Rangers men. Yeah, look, we do need good scouts. I agree. We do need good scouts. Look, I honestly believe that we need to make big changes for Sunday's game against Kilmarnock. We do need to make big changes. Is what I would do. Go to 3 at the back. Have a little look at that. I just need to put my laptop on charge. What do you think of that team then? Let me know. You could possibly swap Bayrami for... I've gone 3 at the back. I think we should go 3 at the back because one of the things that we have at the moment is we have a shocking defence. So therefore, we need more defenders on the pitch. And look, John Souttar, yes, was appalling last night. Derek Cornelius wasn't much better, but it's all we've got. We're not going to get any new players in between now and Sunday. We're not going to be able to go out and get any more players. So for me, I would go 3 at the back. So obviously Jack Butland in goal, picks himself. He's been the player of the season so far. Back 3, Souttar, Cornelius, Fernandez. I would go with that back 3. Look, at the end of the day, the way I look at it is Cornelius ain't that quick. His speed isn't good. But the one thing Cornelius is good at is passing the ball out from the back, bringing the ball out from the back. So give him more of that free role in the middle. Bring in Fernandez, give him a game because Giga is awful. There is no one else. Play Fernandez. Yeah. Or Ciala, either of those. Souttar, you've got to kind of play because, like I said, there is literally nobody else. There is no one else to play other than him, at the end of the day. Midfield 4, I'd go with Curtis as a right wing back. I think Finlay Curtis can play as a right wing back because he's got the energy, the passion, the fight to go back up and down. I would go there. I think Curtis will bring a lot more passion, a lot more heart, a lot more fight, a lot more direct play than Ant-Man or Mikey Moore. I wouldn't even have Mikey Moore on the bench on Sunday. I'd send Mikey Moore back to London. Raskin and Barron in the middle. Barron will work hard, he'll fight. And the one thing Barron will also do is drop back into that defence, into the full-back positions to cover as well, to give us a bit more cover, to give us a bit more defensive solidity there. Raskin gives him a little bit more freedom to get forward, to push on, to, run box to box, to be more of an 8 than a 6. Then I'd have Magoma as our left wing back because, again, I don't think there's anybody else we could play there. Gio says Souttar out, Broxy Bay. Yeah, look, mate, but there's no one else. You tell me who else there is. Please, Gio, tell me someone else you could start at right side centre-back. You can't start Ciala there because he's a left side centre-back. Fernandez is a left side centre-back. Cornelius is a left side centre-back. There is no one else. There's no one in the youth team either that could come in. Then I'd have Gassama and Bayrami behind Miovski. Or Cameron and Gassama behind Miovski. Give Gassama a bit of freedom to go right, go left, move around, create. The one thing that would give us is fluidity in attack. And against the low block, Kilmarnock will come and low block on Sunday. They will. They'll come and put 10 men behind the ball, make it as difficult as possible for us to play. So that's why I would give Gassama. And you can create overloads there. Gassama goes to the left with Magoma and Barron and pushes the left, does that possible, or you can go right. Cameron on Bayrami, play Bayrami more central, give him that 10 role. Asgard, to me, doesn't look a player. Miovski plays up front because literally there is, again, no one else. There is no one else. So 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-3 or however you want to put it, or, move Bayrami back, 3-5-1-1, whatever, go for something different. But I would go 3 at the back because I just think the defence is so bad. So bad. Neil Miller says the only thing you disagree with is Tav for Souttar. Oh, mate, please, no. Tav is not a centre-back. His positional play is genuinely dreadful. The only thing that you could possibly do if you want to keep Tav in the team is put him at right wing-back because he wouldn't have to defend as much. A player who can't defend at centre-back. Plus, aerial duels-wise, he is dreadful in the air. The only thing Tav's good at is going forward and crossing the ball. So for me, no chance will you put Tav at right side centre-back. I mean, I wouldn't have to have anywhere near the team personally. He's genuinely shit. Let's have a look at some of the comments. We are a shadow of our former selves, says Neil. It makes you well up at times just thinking at how magnificent main stand facade and the times we had in there. And then we go to witness what we've got. Agreed. Tav needs Bindi can't defend, says Daniel. Jim Cunningham says Thelwell should have apologised to every player in a meeting for what he said about Chimiti at the press conference not being good enough. Yeah, exactly. That was ridiculous comment. Ridiculous comment. Which is coming on. Great to see Curtis. I would love to see Curtis play. Christina Tag says, I like your team, but would swap by Rami and Curtis. We need a wee man up there. Yeah, agreed. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's fair enough. Or Cameron, I'd put in there. Scott Miller says, Thelwell, Asgard has got to leave Ibrox ASAP. English first division player, you're going to get that. Yeah, I agreed. He's not a good footballer, is he? He hasn't got the energy levels or the ability to play, I don't think, at this level. But I do think 3 at the back will just make us tougher to beat. Really would. Alan Abbott says, what was the owners thinking giving a go-ahead to spend over 8 million on potential? Yeah, I don't get that. Don't get that. Sheffield Wednesday going into administration. Has Thelwell been there sometime? Good question. Kenneth Elliott says 3-5-2. Yeah. Guys, please, obviously, give me your teams. Are you working 25-8, Airwolf? Mate, it feels like it some days. Look how much Everton have improved since Thelwell left. Agreed. They have had a lot more money, Graham, and obviously they have got a new sporting director though. Thank you, James. Look, guys, let me know your teams in the live chat, please. Give me your teams. How would you line up on Sunday against Killy? What would your starting 11 be? Let me know in the live chat how you would line us up against Killy on Sunday. Honestly, though, you look at that performance last night and it was so poor. It was genuinely so poor. As I said at the start of the video, the start of the pod, the only player for me who gets pass marks from that game last night is Jack Butland. The rest of that team is just... it's not up to it. And it ain't going to get any better. It ain't going to get any better. It really isn't. It just genuinely isn't because of the players we've got. The only way it gets better is if we see some of the younger players come in, some of the Scottish players come in. I mean, I think, honestly, if we put Cameron in there, Curtis in there, Rice in there, Barron in there, put a bit more of a Scottish heart into that team, that maybe it improves. Because maybe at least the passion level goes up, maybe the aggression level goes up a little bit. Maybe that helps to some degree. I don't know. We've got to try something there. We've got to try something. Scott Miller says, Thelwell bought all the dross for Everton and fought relegation every year. Then they sacked him. True. Very much true. Very, very much true. Here's Airwolf team. Butland, Nsiala, Suter, Cornelius, Magoma, Gassama, Barron, Raskin, Cameron, Curtis, Miovski. That's a decent shout, mate. Decent shout. Neil Mather says, would Thelwell allow Roll to change the team like that, though? That's a good question. I honestly don't know what control Kevin Thelwell has over the team. That's the big issue for me. What control does he have over the team? As I said last night, I honestly think that team looked like a Kevin Thelwell team. It really did look like a Kevin. Do you think Danny Rule can be a success at Rangers? 68% say yes, 32% say no. Interesting. Please keep your votes coming in on that poll. What else have we got here? Mark Williams says, I'd start with a team of players that can pass the ball. Yeah, that sounds like a good... simple football. Alan Austin says, a lot of those players will be... their agents looking for a move in January, possibly. Scottish Ray says, sad times for the Jers, but great channel, pal. Thank you, Scottish Ray. Go get the boy from Kilmarnock, Davy Watson, before he goes to Hearts. Wade McInnes says, Scott Miller. Mate, it ain't going to happen because he's a Scottish player. Like I said to you, if he played for Everton, if he played for Bristol City, if he played for Leyton Orient, he'd get a game. He'd get signed for us. But because he plays in the Scottish League, Thelwell will not go near him. Janet's team is Butland, Tav, Suter, Cornelius, Raskin, Curtis, Cameron, Antman, Danilo and Miovski. Interesting team there, Janet. The lack of ambition and clarity from the board goes to show this plan that they want to implement. Daniel says 3-5-2. Nsiala, Suter, Cornelius, Curtis, Cameron, Raskin, Barron, Gassama, Danilo and Bojan. That's a decent team, mate. I like that team. It gives us a few more options, a few more ways of playing. I honestly think that going 3 at the back, and Danny Rule has used 3 at the back before, gives us a bit more defensive solidity. That for me would be the big way forward with that one. So yeah, I like that. Engaging, that's where Alan, no problems at all. Impossible task for the guy with Thelwell there. That's the big issue for me. Kevin Thelwell is the big crowning turd in the water pipe at this moment in time, in my honest opinion. You know, he really is the crowning turd in the water pipe, and he is the one causing the troubles at this football club. Would bring Gassama when teams tire of it, says Janet. Interesting. Who says, what does Rolls say? I want this player. What does Thelwell say? You're getting this. Thelwell says you're getting this. This is the way it works, I think, at the football club now. You know, honestly do. I'd play the scheme. Yeah, I'd give some of the younger players, Jim, a go. Absolutely. Nobody is going to buy Chimity. Do send him out on loan ASAP. Scott, mate, I don't know what we do with Chimity. We ain't going to get our money back on him. £8.5 million on a player that couldn't hit a cow's arse with two banjos. Never mind a banjo. Is there any footage of the fan confronting Thelwell? Yes, there is, online at the moment on X. Let me see if I can find it quickly for you. I won't be able to show you it as well as possible, but let me see if I can find it. Two seconds, guys. I'll try and show you this as best as I can. That's the footage. It's on 4Lads on X. If you want to watch it, go on to 4Lads on X. It is on there of the fans confronting Stewart and the board and Thelwell at the airport last night after the defeat. And they deserve it. And look, I don't usually say that, but they do deserve it. They deserve all the abuse they get for what the job they're doing. Hopefully that scares Kevin Thelwell out of a job. I mean, it really do that. The boy shouts, "This is our life, you're playing." Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Absolutely, it is. You know, it tells him to fuck off, tells him all sorts of things. Yeah, absolutely. Watch it for the language on it, Aaron. Yeah, it is. The language is bad. I imagine, Graham, I swear as much as they do, so I'm not really particularly worried about that. I swear as much as they do. But yeah, fans are frustrated. Fans are genuinely frustrated with this guy. You know, he needs to go. He needs to go, and he needs to go today. There's none of this wait till the summer, because if you give him more money in January, he is just going to massively waste it. Massively waste it. And we can't allow that. We really cannot allow that in the slightest on that one. Right, guys, that is it for this morning. Thank you for joining me here on Glasgow Rangers Nation. Look, we'll obviously continue to build up to the Kilmarnock game. Look out for videos on the channel. Thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation, guys. As always, on the way out, please smash the like. Please share the video. Obviously, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.